Heyo, and welcome back to my channel. I would like to share another thought of something that I learned when I was taking psychology courses, and I am actually prepared for this one. I had to draw an entire graph for it, so get ready. This is Abraham Maslow's hierarchy of needs, and you may have heard of this before and maybe at least a little bit familiar with it. This is a pyramid, and basically his theory is that all of us want to be filled up all the way to the very top of the pyramid, but you have to have the lower levels secure and filled like a good foundation before you can move up. And he talks about how a lot of people never make it to the top of the pyramid, and as such they're not living their fullest life. So the bottom of the pyramid is physiological needs, which is things like food and sleep and water and reproduction. Second, we have safety needs, which is like health, employment, personal security. And then we have love and belonging, which is family, friends, intimacy, like a sense of connection and belonging. Up next we have esteem, which is respect, self-esteem, status, recognition, freedom, stuff like that. And then at the very, very top, I thought it was important to be able to fit the whole word into the pyramid, so you can't read it from there, but it says self-actualization. And that is just becoming the best you. That is when you realize your fullest potential, your greatest strength, the things that you're interested in, the things that you care about. You would just become all of who you were made to be. That is Abraham Maslow's hierarchy of needs. And when I was reading about that, he was kind of coming at it from the perspective of, you know, so many people spend their whole entire life stuck on just trying to find food and shelter, stuck at the very base of the pyramid with physiological needs because they are living in poverty, because they didn't get a good education, or they live in a certain kind of culture. They will never make it to self-actualization because they just have to look for food and water their entire lives. Which I was like, well, that stinks. That's really depressing. But as I was thinking about it, I was just thinking about when we have a relationship with God, He is the truest way to self-actualization. And actually, when we are fully believing in God and trusting God, when we invite Him into our hearts and let Him direct our lives, He flips this pyramid around so that He fulfills our self-actualization needs first, and then up and up. And we might never now reach the top of this pyramid, but these are the less important things anyway. We may live our lives in poverty, never reach physiological needs, and have all of those satisfied, but we will be satisfied in who we are. We can have peace, we can have security, spiritually, emotionally, mentally. We can be the best that He's called us to be because He gives us the resources that we need to be who He made us to be, and He gives us the opportunities that we need to do the things that He wants us to do. And so He fulfills us at the highest level, and we don't even have to worry about necessarily safety or physiological needs because we trust Him to take care of that. And that reminded me, a nice little passage that ties into this is Luke 12. I'm going to do 27 through 31. Consider how the wildflowers grow. They do not labor or spin. Yet I tell you, not even Solomon in all his splendor was dressed like one of these. If that is how God clothes the grass of the field, which is here today and tomorrow is thrown into the fire, how much more will He clothe you, you of little faith? And do not set your heart on what you will eat or drink. Do not worry about it. For the pagan world runs after all such things, and your Father knows that you need them. But seek His kingdom, and these things will be given to you as well. And I just thought that was such a neat way of backing up my ideas with the Bible. God is going to take care of our physiological needs. Like, He knows we need food and water and security and sleep. But those aren't the things that we're supposed to be worrying about. Those aren't the things that we're supposed to be pouring all of our energy and all of our lives into attaining for ourselves. We can just trust those to God. And it's like, God knows that you need them, but seek first His kingdom, and all these things will be given to you as well. And so really what I need to focus on is my relationship with God and who He has created me to be, and living that out to the best of my ability. And if I feel like I need new contexts or new resources or new opportunities in order to feel actualized as who I am, He can provide that. I'm going to pray about that, and I'm going to trust that to Him. This is a very personal reminder to me right now because I do worry so much about my physiological needs. I worry about having enough money. I worry about being able to afford groceries. I worry about getting enough to eat. I worry about getting enough sleep. I worry about I'm going to be depressed because there's not as much sunlight anymore. I worry about as I'm moving into a different job, I'm worrying about how am I going to be able to afford things? Am I going to be making the amount of money that we need? I can just get so in my head about trying to satisfy these very unimportant physical needs, and that just pushes me further away from God and does absorb all of my energy and all of my attention into these things that really and truly I can't even control. It really all comes from God. And so I want to be focusing instead on how to glorify Him, how to live my life for Him, and trust Him to give me the things that I need to be able to stay alive to do that. And if He doesn't, and I starve under a bridge someday soon, that will be okay, because that was His plan for me. And I guess I did what He wanted me to do. And I fulfilled my purpose, and I get to go home. So I just really wanted to put out that reminder that it's not all about trying to get the best job, trying to get the best education, trying to have the nicest house, and trying to eat the most healthily, and be able to afford all of your bills, and just worrying about all of that stuff. It's about trusting God with it, and really looking for how He can satisfy our greatest need, which I think is so encouraging that we even have that opportunity, because it is kind of true. Like, Abraham Maslow's theory kind of holds up that many people do not move beyond the first 1 or 2 levels of the pyramid, but God can satisfy all of it for us, and we have such a special opportunity to be people who are self-actualized, living to our greatest potential, understanding who we are and who we're created to be. And that is an enviable position. I genuinely don't think that anyone could really get to that top tier of the pyramid without understanding God, without understanding who we are to Him, and what our purpose in life is through the lens of understanding that He created us and understanding what He wants from us. And so I don't want to just go with the culture and be so absorbed in how am I going to take care of myself and be safe and have enough friends and have people love me and have respect and have enough food. I want to be living to my greatest potential, and I'm so grateful that God gives us that opportunity. He satisfies that desire for us, and that He does flip this pyramid on its head, just like He flips the entire world and the entire kingdoms of the earth on their heads, and comes to bring about a completely upside down way of doing things. But it's so much better. It's what we were created for, and I want to live in the life that He's called me to. Thank you for watching, and goodbye until more interesting things happen.